Hi, today we're talking about the Backrooms. On May 12th, 2019, an anonymous 4chan user replied to a post on the X board about disquieting images with a picture of a yellow room with the following message. If you're not careful and you no-clip out of reality in the wrong areas, you'll end up in the Backrooms, where it's nothing but the stink of old and moist carpet, the madness of mono yellow, the endless background noise of fluorescent lights at maximum hum buzz, and approximately 600 million square miles of randomly segmented empty rooms to be trapped in God save you if you hear something wandering around nearby, because it is sure as hell has heard you. Now, I'd heard of this before, but I always thought it was weird that's no clip. What exactly does that mean? I guess they just mean that you're kind of just dissipating. Like, if you're touching a table, all of a sudden you're going through the table. But it's just weird. I've never heard the term no clip before. On May 14th, this post appeared in another thread on the X board. On May 16th, it appeared again on the board, green text, saying it was the worst of any creepypasta. From there, the concept spread, with 2 creepypasta stories emerging and new images being shared along with jokes and memes. Here are some example memes. So obviously, most people don't take this seriously. They find it to be a joke that someone just made up this image and said that you end up, disappearing to this other reality. But the concept has been expanded upon, having its own wiki page on fandoms with a lot of information. So much that I couldn't even get through it all or even understand all of it going through for this. But the Backrooms have been broken down into different levels and are even inhabited by different entities. It seems that there are enemies as well as groups of individuals that have went there and I guess formed parties. There was so much information about the groups living there that I couldn't even process it. One of the monsters there that I was trying to read, I couldn't even understand what exactly they were when I read their entry on the fandom wiki page. So unfortunately, I can't get too deep into that. If you understand the workings of it, feel free to leave an explanation in the comments. But time does not work the same in the Backrooms, and there have been no reported escapes. Dreams are stronger in the Backrooms, so it's advised to be cautious after having a negative dream while in the Backrooms or after having a dream about being in the Backrooms, as both are most likely prophetic. So if you have a dream that you are in a weird yellow hallway area of rooms, just beware that you might no clip there. So it's interesting that there's so much information about the Backrooms that makes it seem like maybe there is some substance to it, but yet there's such a comedic undertone to it, because one of the things that the wiki page even said was, be ready, having all your gear that you should bring with you, but you don't have any control over if you're no clipping there. So how would you be ready and prepared? But I guess if you had a prophetic dream, you could get your whole pack ready, but you better wear that pack all the time until it happens. Well, it's not recommended to intentionally enter the Backrooms there are some potential ways to find an entrance. One way might be a dark wall in an abandoned building, random doors that shouldn't lead anywhere, or any area that feels paranormal. If you do find yourself in the back rooms, the best course of action is to remain calm and accept living there where you have ended up. There are supposedly exits from the back rooms, but in order to find them, you must travel through dangerous levels and will most likely not succeed. There are doors with exit signs, but taking these doors will lead to dangerous areas and probably not an exit. So you should never break walls, doors, mirrors, or windows, since this will either kill you instantly or create enough noise that an entity will attack you. Supposedly, there's Wi-Fi in the back rooms, but it's not advised to use it since beings are said to be able to track you using the Wi-Fi signal. Some groups have attempted to contact the outside world, but were killed by an entity, a booby trap, or a random accident while doing so. As I said earlier, time works strangely there. Because of this, no clock will show the time, and your bodily functions react strangely as well. So your need for food and water is necessary but almost non-existent, and your body is unable to heal itself as it normally would. So the biggest issue is that you don't have blood clotting. So any minor injury, you're going to continue bleeding until you fully bleed out. It's estimated that people typically only need to eat and drink once a month, but this is harder to calculate since there's no day and night, although apparently every 12 supposed hours, the lights will go out for a supposed 3 to 6 hours, sometimes as long as 10, on levels 0 through 3. I guess the other levels, the lights are on all the time, or maybe some of them are dark all the time. I don't know. Again, there's pages on a bunch of levels. So there's information on the individual levels. And as I get into, there's a separation of levels, but there's levels outside of it, which is, again, why this seems probably like 98% fake. The main source of water in the back rooms is called almond water, due to its light almond taste, which can be found in coolers, vending machines, fountains, and dripping from the ceilings of level 5. It is highly healing, both physically and mentally. Dipping your hand into the water will silence any voices in your head, and applying it to an open wound will accelerate the healing. That said, it's suggested to boil it before consuming, since it can be poisonous, causing convulsions and migraines or even hallucinations. It is also not necessary to sleep while in the back rooms, but doing so is suggested since it will help you remain sane. The backroom levels are broken down into types, as I said. There are main levels, 0 through 8, and negative levels below those, in between sub-layers, numbered 0.5, so 1.5, 2.5, which can be difficult to get to. Secret levels, which don't have a placement with the other levels, which I'm not exactly sure what that means exactly. And oddball levels, which are unconfirmed secret levels and have unique properties. There is also a list of joke levels, which were created purely as a joke. If you're interested in information on each level, you can visit the page on the fandoms to get information on that and all the entities and really delve your way through. But as I said earlier, there are a lot of different levels on that page. One being 2028, another like a million. So there's definitely a sense of this being made up. But it's also weird that they're so specific as well, like almond water. I don't know why someone would have made up drinking almond water and that it causes you to have hallucinations. So it's kind of weird. It's kind of too specific to be made up, but too outlandish to be real. Also, if anybody that communicates with the outside world using the internet to give us information dies, then how did we get all this information? But that said, there were 3 theories that I found about the Backrooms, kind of conspiracy theories, that I wanted to share. The first is that the Backrooms are just a collective nightmare shared by coma patients. A few explorers believe that the people who use the internet that have woken up from their coma, a few explorers believe that the people who use the internet there have woken up from their coma but continue to have their recurring nightmare. Some here claim to have heard their family saying, "Wake up," or "It's all a dream," and others have had flashbacks of themselves getting severely injured. Now that theory I can see as being a possibility, that like the whole thing was just a nightmare. That theory I do see potential truth in, because it would explain how we get this information, but it's a little far-fetched that everyone would have this same collective nightmare and that you could be going back and forth and not know that you're going back and forth. The fact that you wouldn't know is what I find more unbelievable than that you could go back and forth between the back rooms and here, depending on if you're awake or asleep. But the second theory is that the back rooms were created by a guy named Jimmy. Apparently, Jimmy created clones of himself, which shows that he has some control over the area. And according to this theory, Jimmy created everything in the back rooms and chooses who specifically is transported there. However, Jimmy messed up when creating the creature known as the party goer, which is why he hunts them and only them. Now, I tried to get more information on Jimmy and the party goers, but I didn't really get anything else. So I can't give more to that theory, but I find it interesting to be like, okay, so here's a creator of the area. That kind of makes sense. And then that would make sense why only certain people go there, because he controls it. But what's really interesting is this last theory, which is connected, and that's that there is a special person who will be a lucid, meaning that they will be able to travel the back rooms while dreaming, which will give them the ability to travel anywhere in the back rooms between levels and leave the back rooms as they need to. So they will not be in any danger. They will be able to traverse the area and find the exit and can help other people escape. And then, of course, because Jimmy is able to pick who goes there, it makes sense that Jimmy would decide who's going to be this one lucid person that will, I guess, stamp out the back rooms. But it's also weird because if Jimmy was picking who goes there, why couldn't Jimmy just stop sending people there? Anyways, that is the information I have on the back rooms. Let me know if you believe in this story or not. I don't. It's just way too much of a memeing joke. But there were some creepypastas that came from it, and I will be posting those readings, as well as a fan game that I found of the Backrooms as well.